Hello, it's Kirsty here from My Home Truths doing my first Facebook Live video, which is rather exciting and a little bit scary all at the same time. This is the first in my weekly wins, which is a series I'd like to do, Wins the Week, where I want to get people to end the week on a positive note. So I'll be sharing some wins that I've had this week, and I'd love for you guys to share yours in the comments below. And to watch and to leave comments even later on, because I know everyone can't make it to a live video. The whole idea of this series, and also for my series Challenges the Week, which will be running on a Monday at the same time at 10 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time, I think that's right, is to look at what basically to set ourselves for the week and to go, okay, there's going to be some challenges, but hopefully by the end of the week we've also worked out ways that we can overcome them and have wins from them. And as a special needs parent, which is what my blog My Home Truths is all about, I'm all for trying to get us to sort of overcome challenges and to start looking at things differently and look at things more positively, so that then we can feel better and know that we're doing the best that we can. So that's why I wanted to start with the wins of the week. So I'll be doing this hopefully every week, and I'd love for you to join in too. So for those of you who may not be familiar with my blog, my name is Kirsty Russell, and I'm from a blog called My Home Truths. I've been blogging for over 5 years, nearly 6 years now in January. And initially I blogged all about parenting and personal things, so it was just a personal blog. But in recent years, and I suppose from the start, I have 3 children, 2 of whom are on the autism spectrum, and one of those, Gilbert, my son, who also has oculocutaneous albinism, so he has a vision impairment as well as a visible difference. So as a parent, I've always been very passionate about trying to be the best that I can be, learn as much as I can and support my kids as much as I can. And as the blog has progressed and as the years have gone on, I've discovered that special needs parenting is where my passion is, particularly helping other parents look at their situation in a more positive way, and to know they're not alone and to give them some support and guidance. So the blog has sort of done a little bit of progression over the last few years, and now it's very much in that special needs parenting space, particularly in the autism and the albinism/vision impairment space. So if you're new, that's sort of what I talk about, and I share a lot of other information from other bloggers and around the interwebs about everything to do with special needs parenting, and parenting in general. I also try and take a bit of fun with things. I'm not always completely serious, because, if you didn't laugh every day, even if it's hysterical laughter, that is okay. You're just not going to have a very good life, and you're not going to, be the best person that you can be for your kids. I suppose also where I sit, my kids are on what people would call the higher functioning end of the spectrum. So they are verbal, they both attend a mainstream school. That doesn't mean they don't have challenges, and they have quite a lot of challenges. My son in particular, because of his vision impairment as well, has a lot of extra challenges that we need to work on. But I suppose I'm also lucky and blessed that I can see a lot of what comes with their autism as a blessing, and as an integral part of themselves. So I don't see it necessarily, as a disorder or as anything that needs to be cured. I see them as a necessary part of them, and my job as a parent is to try and guide them through life the best I can and give them the tools and the skills that they can get so that they can live, as independent lives as they can. So that's my job, and I suppose that's where I view the spectrum. So I do have a very positive viewpoint, but I'm learning all the time. This has taken 8 years. I've known that autism has been in our family for 8 years now, and it's taken me quite a long time to come to that point. But I'm hoping to share here information about, dealing with grief, because you will feel grief when you're a special needs parent, to deal with your own mental health and well-being, and just different hints and tricks and experiences that we've had over the years with our kids. And I'm also at the moment, and I'll be blogging a little bit less for the next little while because of this, finishing up a book on on autism and travel, family travel. So I'm hoping to have that book out in a month or so. Well, definitely by the end of the year, let's say. I've been saying it's been a month or so for about a year now. But I'm hoping to have that available to help people who may want to go travelling with their families, not quite sure how to do that, or don't know, where to even start. Hopefully that will break things down step by step and help people along that journey. So for today, for my wins of the week, which I do want to try and encourage others to share with as well, I actually have a few, which is nice. The first one being when my daughter had her cast off early this week. If you are a reader, you would have known that Matilda broke her arm quite badly. Her left arm, she broke both bones in the forearm, about here. She had to have surgery, and she had to have TENS nails put in, which are like wires, and they'll be in for a little bit longer yet. And it was a pretty rough experience for her. And when you think of all the sensory stuff on top of that, so the cast itself, obviously made her itchy, was heavy. The sensation of the cast going on is really hot and quite unexpected. And then having the cast off was really scary. She was very worried about it because obviously they use a little bit of a saw. And so even though the saw, and I showed her, I had it on my hand, it didn't cut me or anything, she just didn't want a bar of it, was very upset, but we got through it. I have to note the vibration of the saw was probably the worst for her. So it wasn't just the, and they have to stick a plastic thing down the cast so the saw doesn't hit the skin. That also worried her, that insertion. So there was a few different things sensory-wise that really bothered her in the whole way through with the cast, with the broken arm. But the win is that she did it. We got through it. And now she's still got a sling on, and I'm hoping we can lose that over the weekend. And she'll have the confidence to go about without it. Because she had an open reduction, what they're called, so they had to go in and actually, cut her open to fix her arm up. She's got a few scars and things, so I'm very impressed and amazed with how she's handled this whole situation. And so my win for the week is basically Matilda getting over her fears and getting that cast off, and starting to use her arm a little bit more too. And that will be the probably the challenge that I'll probably share on Monday, will probably be getting her to have that confidence and to lose the anxiety of that. And it's a big thing. The other win of the week, which is related to that, was the fact that on that day that we had the cast off, we had to go to the specialist initially, and then the physio to get the cast off, and then the x-ray at the hospital across the road to get the x-ray, and then back to the specialist. I didn't just do this with Matilda, I had all three of them with me. So Gilbert and Delilah had woken up unwell and tired, so I decided that everyone can have the day off and came along with me. And so I'm very excited because I survived with three kids, and they survived because obviously it was a really tough situation, anxious situation for all of them. Delilah was very, very worried about Matilda when the saw came out, and so in a way it was probably good that they got to see what the situation and how things were. Gilbert, as usual, was very interested in the mechanics and very interested in the fact that his sister was scared. He thought that was funny, which is really not good, but that's him all over. So that was a very big win for us. So very excited about that. An other win was the fact that I finished up my I Must Confess link up. Now, long-time readers would know that in my old parenting/personal blogging days, I held a blogger link up once a week on a Monday where people could link up their confessions. After a lot of thought, because I'm moving this blog is now really special needs parenting blog, I didn't feel it really fit sort of where I wanted to take it, so I had to get rid of it, or I had to sort of stop it. The last link up this week, we had nearly 20 people link up, and it was great. And I was honoured to see all the wonderful things that people wrote about the link up. The fact for some people it kept them blogging, for others it gave them a prompt and inspiration, and others again it gave them a really supportive place to share some things they really did want to get off their chest. So I just wanted to thank everyone again for being a part of that, and to remind everybody that we do have a Facebook group called I Must Confess, so you can search for it and seek entry to that. And that's a really safe place where if you do want to make a confession that you can't do on your wall, it's a secret, it's a closed group, so people can't see what you're actually sort of writing in there. And I have to say that everyone is really supportive. There's no judgment, and that's exactly what I wanted to do with the link up for all those years, and I think we achieved that, and that's what I achieved with the Facebook group. So wherever you are, whatever you do, if you're looking for a safe place to make any sort of confessions or to share, your frustrations or your happiness, etc., feel free to request to join I Must Confess. It's a really good group, and I'll be using it a lot more now that I don't have the confession link up. But that's probably the other reason that I put together these Facebook Live videos as well, so that I can still get things off my chest. So I could confess that I was proud of my kids this week, and I can confess that I'm sort of proud of myself for what we created with the link up and the community. So it was a tough decision. It was a sad one in some ways to make, but I do think it's the right one, because now I can move forward and hopefully really help those people I want to help. So, obviously I have 2 kids on the spectrum, one child with vision impairment. I've been a special needs parent now. Well, my son was first diagnosed with albinism when he was 11 weeks old. So I've been a special needs parent for 12 years. So I do feel I have a little bit of experience and a little bit of understanding of what others might be going through. None of us have the exact same experience, because none of us have the same conditions with our children, and our children certainly don't present the same with any condition anyway. I know with my kids, my son and daughter, very, very different presentations of autism in them both, which makes it really difficult to balance the needs of the family. And that's one of the things that I talk about quite a bit. But I suppose if you're looking at sort of why I'm doing this or what my qualifications, etc. are, it's experience, basically. But I'm not a medical professional, so anything that I share, obviously, I can't guarantee it will work for everybody, and I certainly can't give any sort of medical guidance for you. But all I can do is to sort of, share with you sort of what's worked for me and my experiences, and that's what I'm aiming to do here with My Home Truths. So thank you so much for joining me for the first Wins of the Week video. As I said, I'm hoping to do this around 10 o'clock every Monday and Friday. So Friday will be the Wins of the Week, and coming Monday will be the Challenges of the Week. So, if you have things that you really just want to get off your chest, or you have an issue that you're seeking some guidance on, link it in the comments and let me know, and we'll see what we can do as a community to help you. I'll certainly be sharing sort of the challenges that we're experiencing. I can tell you now, one of them obviously is getting Matilda to, use her arm a little bit more. But another one is we're actually off to Comic Con tomorrow, so in Sydney, which is very exciting for most of us. Gilbert's very iffy about it. So that's one of the things that we'll be working on, and I'll be interested to see whether the challenge worked for him then.